Large number of people pass through airports every day. This presents potential targets for terrorism and other forms of crime because of the number of people located in one place. Airport security attempts to prevent any threat or potentially dangerous situations from arising or entering into the country. If airport security does succeed, then the chances of any dangerous situation, illegal items or threat entering into an aircraft, country or airport are greatly reduced. Today, over 1,600 aviation security officers serve on the front lines at the 22 airports in Nigeria. They are responsible for the screening of passengers, cabin baggage, cargo and personal items among others, with the use of X-ray screening equipment prior to boarding or loading of baggage and cargo into the aircraft or movement to restricted areas. While officers are trained for this role, retraining is also key, and that's what's happening here. The head of aviation security at the Civil Aviation Regulator admonishes officers on the need for reporting.
Irrespective of the crowded area, the abandoned luggage must be reported. That's why it's been announced intermittently at the airport that don't leave your luggage unattended, and if found, it can be removed and be destroyed. Why? Because a topological interference can go ahead and place IED inside of the luggage and left it over the airport, which can jeopardize security. I make reference to a young man that was caught at Abuja who was trying to plug a cell phone, and that it was not a cell phone. Very young boy was sent. And he didn't know that because of the security awareness, the people the car hire have been given the security awareness, and everyone, it was reported that night, it was occurred in the night, and the boy was arrested, where he confessed that he was sent.
It's not only officers who need to be security aware. Every passenger must be observant and speak up. A top official of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria shares a personal experience.
A couple of weeks ago, I took my first son to the airport, GAT. He was going back to school. And at the airport, he met quite a number of his schoolmates who were also traveling to Benin. And while I was standing with them, a lady in front of them just said to one of the young undergraduates, "Oh, just keep an eye on my bicycle. I want to do something." Immediately I spoke, and I spoke very loudly so everyone around could hear. And I said to my son and his friends, "Don't ever allow this happen to you."
It is quick to add a word of caution as AFSEC officers brace up for the addition of arms to their usual appearance.
When I read the comments made by some aviation security personnel in the light of the plan to arm aviation security, they were like, wow, this is going to be a balance of power, bullet for bullet and all that. It got me more worried, because in that atmosphere, certainly we cannot pay attention to security issues. I'll be waiting for the day the immigration man will step on my shoes, and wait for the day the customs man will step on my toes. And so in doing that, I'm totally distracted from the purpose for which I'm at the airport. So we need to look at that, and while we plan to arm aviation security, it is not so they can turn the guns on their sister agencies.
And why is all this necessary after all?
Aviation security is all about safety, and safety is and always the first requirement in civil aviation. That is why we say that of aviation security in terms of objectives takes precedence over facilitation. Facilitation has to do with speed, while security has to do with safety. So we often say that security is the means to an end. What is that end? Safety.
When this meeting is over, the most important thing according to experts is security is everyone's business, and rethinking border safety for the digital age may be better improved by increased knowledge about passengers even before they approach the boarding gates.
Newsflash takes up with the Aviation Roundtable, an industry pressure group hitting at the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority for failing in its oversight responsibility in ensuring that the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria complies with the runway maintenance program for the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. This follows the decision by the federal government to proceed with the closure of the Abuja airport to flight operations for 6 weeks to conduct emergency repairs on the runway. The body says the opening or closing of a runway rests within the purview of the NCAA as provided for in the Act establishing the regulatory agency and not the executive arm of government, and is challenging the agency to be alive to its responsibility of safety oversight by conducting a thorough assessment of the status of all the runways at the various airports in the country to forestall a reoccurrence of the Abuja saga. While the Aviation Roundtable is asking the NCAA to wake up from slumber, the Muritala Mohammed Airport 2 in Lagos has said it has the capacity to process all domestic flights and passengers during the proposed closure of the Abuja airport. During the closure, it's expected that traffic to Lagos would increase exponentially as many international carriers said they would prefer to operate their flights to Lagos rather than Kaduna. Authorities at the airport say the MMA2 is adequately positioned to accommodate any airline willing to process its passenger through its facility, as the terminal is at the moment 70% underutilized. Now to the foreign scene, where Emirates, the world's biggest long-haul airline, has announced it's in the process of a modest restructuring 2 months after it reported a 75% decline in half-year profits due to slower growth and increased competition. Gulf carriers who spent years rapidly expanding into markets from South America to Africa are under pressure to adapt to weaker markets, overcapacity and a stronger dollar. A spokeswoman said a very small number of staff have been affected, and the restructuring at Emirates involved moving employees into new positions and some others demoted. According to Reuters, in December, Emirates had offered redundancies to staff working in its head office in Dubai as part of a review of its workforce. Around 1,000 employees have left Emirates in the past 3 months. Newsflash comes to a close with Malaysia's transport minister saying he will meet with relatives of passengers from missing Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 after being lobbied by a group representing families of those lost when the plane vanished in 2014. The Voice 370 group had earlier announced that a spokeswoman would deliver personal letters to Malaysian Transport Minister asking him to resume the search, which was called off last week.
First, I must thank the tripartite commitment, Australia, China, Malaysia, continue to commit on these important search missions, and we will continue to analyze whatever data that we have. And we, Malaysia side, we will set up a response team that whatever debris that collected will be collected by Malaysia government and analyze it, and need be will send to Australia to ATSB for further analysis.
The Boeing 777 jet disappeared in March 2014 en route to Beijing from the Malaysian capital of Kuala Lumpur, with 239 people on board, sparking one of the world's greatest aviation mysteries. Our flight terminates here, and we look forward to your feedback via our social media portal. Thanks for watching, and see you next week, God's willing. I'm Bukola Joe Uketumbi.